Hello everyone, welcome to Lighthouse Stamping with Lorraine. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Vancouver, Washington. Thank you for joining me today. Before we get started, all the housekeeping notes, all the product I use and all the dimensions will be listed below. There's a link to my online store if you wish to purchase any of these products. Also remember there is a joining offer if you'd like to become a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, or if you just want to become a happy stamper. There is a link to my Facebook group. We'd love to have you join that. There's my email address if you have any questions, and please remember to like, share, and subscribe on YouTube. So this is day 3 of my 25 days of Christmas. And when I finished my last project, I got tired and I quit for the day. And sitting on my desk was Very Cute that I'd just done for my last one and all the Very Cute paper. So I decided that I would make a cute little box. So I've currently been looking at this paper sitting out here and trying to decide what I wanted to use on my box. And I've decided that I'm going to use this paper. I think it's very pretty. So that's what we're going to make our box with. So all I've done is grabbed some different color paper and some other stuff. I don't even have the dimension. I have designed the size of the outside of the box. I don't even know what size I need to cut this paper at this moment. So we're just going from scratch here. So I'm going to get my board. I know I'm going to start with a piece of paper that is 8.5. Not this, cardstock. That is 8.5 by 11. And looking at this, I pulled out Night of Navy, and I pulled out Misty Moonlight, and I do have Real Red. But I think I'm going to make my card base. I think I'm going to use Misty Moonlight. Any of those colors would work, but I think I'm going to go with Misty Moonlight. So this is 11 by 8.5, full sheet of paper. This is a large flip box I'm making. I like flip boxes. They hold lots of stuff. So we are going to score at the other end. We're going to score at 2, 4.5, 6.5, and 9. We're going to flip this around, and we are going to start this at 2 and at 6.5, or you can flip it back around and score it at 2 again. So when I did this, the box will come out to be 4.5 inches across, 2 inches deep, and 2.5 inches, 2 inches deep, 2.5 this way. So that's the scoreboard. So let's get this burnished. I mean, I haven't even figured out what we're going to do. I still have stamps sitting on my desk from yesterday. I was tired and didn't even clean up. So we're just going to fold these, and we're going to get them all burnished, and then we will measure and cut our paper. So there's this. So we have squares along here, but 2 are really large and 3 are smaller. So we are going to cut up on each of those squares, and we're just going to wedge it in slightly. Just like that. And we're just going to come along and do that on all of these. Shasta's in us here today with us. This is just the next day. If you watched Wednesday's video, this is the day after I filmed that one. Shasta fell off the top of my upper craft rack in my office. And she's a little tender and sore today. And so she's not getting into much. She's just curled up on her blanket behind me. She doesn't want me out of her sight. Every time I move from one room to another room, she's right with me. So she's curled up behind me. She's almost asleep, so she'll be okay. She's just had a good fright, and hopefully it taught her not to climb up there anymore. But, you know, after we've all taken a fall or a little tumble or something, we're all a little sore the day after. I figure she's not any different than us. But she's doing everything she's supposed to. She's eating and playing, and not as hard as she normally does. And, you know, doing all the things she's supposed to. She's fine. And she's my not silent, but quieter kitten. She does not talk as much as Smokey does. Smokey is a big talker. Okay. So I have this, and I'm going to put my things on her first, but I do want to, like I said, I hadn't designed these. I'm going to cut these down about half on the 2 back sides. The front won't make that much. The lid is fine, but these will be overlapping if I don't cut them off. Like I said, I haven't built this, so we'll cut those down so they're not overlapping. So they're like this. The front won't be overlapping anything because there's no other piece to come across it. So this is my front. And I know I'm going to want to put a thumb hole in here. So let me grab a thumb hole punch, or a little circle punch. Just one moment. So I reach across Shasta here. She's like, what are you doing? I keep all my small punches in a little box. That's the rattling you're hearing. So let's figure out what we need for paper. We know we're going to need a piece for the front, the top, the back, and these 2 sides. So let me grab a pencil and a ruler, and we'll do a few measurements. Well, across here, that is going to be, I'm going to say we're going to call it 4 1/4. And this one is going to be, we'll call it 1 3/4. So we know this is 4 1/4 across. So this one is going to be 2 1/4. This is the same as this one. That should do it for that. Then across here, this one is going to be the same as this width, which was 2 1/4. And the height is the same as this one, which is 1 3/4. So measuring these is really quite easy. And like I said, all the dimensions will be listed below. So let's set this aside and cut some paper. I know I usually have a project already figured out and everything when I do it, but once in a while I don't. So we know that we need at least 3 pieces that are going to be 4 1/4. And when we're looking at our box, we'll be looking at it this way. So I want to run my paper this direction. So I'm going to cut it at 4 1/4. So we know we need 1. The bigger piece is going to be 2 1/4. I've wrote these all down off to the side of me. I'm not memorizing them. But if I want the pattern to flow, I should do the one that is 1 3/4 first. So if we do the front piece, 1 3/4, I'll set this. Now we do the top piece, which is 2 1/4. Do you see where I'm going with this? I'm going to carry the picture up and around the back side. A little off on that one, but and this will be 1 1/4 or 1 3/4. Sorry. Now this back piece is 2 1/4 trying to figure out if I cut this height-wise. I'm looking at my measurements again here. So that is 1 3/4 high. So if I cut this at 1 3/4, and then if I cut this, I need to be 2 1/4. Is there 2 1/4 here? No, there is not. That's okay. So I need this at, what to say, 1 3/4. Who do I want to cut off? By 2 1/4. I cut the bear off. I don't want to cut the bear off. Who says you can't take and adjust your paper the way you want it? That's 2 1/4. I have trees on one end, and I have 2 bears on the other end. So those are the pieces we need. And these are all still usable pieces. And we still have a lot of paper left. So, this is my front. I'll grab some glue. So this was my front piece. Make sure I grab this. This is my front piece. This is the way I cut them. Now, if your paper's not directional or anything, you don't need to, but I've got a whole scene here, so I figured I might use as much of the scene as I could. And you could make the, I've got really wide margins on this. You could make them narrow or smaller margins if you wanted. See how I'm carrying the picture? Now this one, if I flip it this way, the picture, yes, carries, but he'll be upside down. I don't want that. But if someone uses their imagination, they can put it back together. But at least the front piece you're looking at is the whole. But this is going the right direction when you flip it back. That way, that's the back. All right. One side has polar bears. Trees. Okay, now I'm going to use that. I've got a little 1/2-inch punch. You can use whatever size punch you have. You got, even if you don't have a little circle punch, you could use the end of an oval punch. And I'm only going to take it in the middle, approximately 1/3 of the way, just to give it a little opening there. Okay, let's put this box together and then decorate the box. So these back ones, we determined where the back was. We'll put glue on. You can use whatever you want. Glue, tear and tape, Seal Plus, not Seal. If you want your box to hold up through Christmas, don't use Seal. Use Seal Plus. Glue or tear and tape. Make sure you got nice 90-degree angles here when you're doing it. Make sure I'm nice and the way I'm supposed to. And sorry you can't see in here, but I'm putting glue on the flap. Yeah, I like this with the Misty Moonlight. It would look nice with Night of Navy as well. These ones are going to come this direction. And this one. Glue does take a minute because you have to wait for it to hold, but it really does hold really well. It doesn't come apart at all. Now, some of the adhesives, tear and tape holds well, I shan't tell you, after a long period of time, I mean, a couple years, if you have something you want to build and have it together for a couple of years, tear and tape will actually disintegrate after a few years. So if you're building something that you want it to stay together for a long period of time, you're going to need to use glue. I learned that because I had made these little bags and I had put them in a case. We have a glass case in the kitchen and living dining room area, and I stuck it in there, and I went to look at it because I was thinking about reproducing these for a Christmas project for us. And literally the bag had disintegrated where all the tape was. It was falling apart. And they've been in there about 5 or 6 years, maybe a little longer. So tear and tape does disintegrate after time. So just an FYI. So there's our box. We have this there, bears. Tells a nice little story all the way around. So, decorations. Well, I need a tag on it. I know that. So we need to make a tag for it. And I need some ribbon. So let me look in the ribbon box. I know I don't let you guys see in some of this stuff sometimes. Ribbon box. Ooh, that's that new gold. Ooh, that's almost too dark for that. How about iridescent ribbon? Or we could go striped Night of Navy. No, I'm thinking iridescent ribbon could look really nice. Or the silver. Ooh, I think I still like the iridescent the best. One of these days I'll be able to do a live and then you could give me input. But we're not there yet, unfortunately. That's why you got to share and tell people about me, please. So I'm going to put ribbon on there, but I know I want a tag on this. So hang on here. We could grab, hang on, I'm looking for tags, what I want to use. I think we'll just grab the Tailor tags here. And I don't want one too big. I don't have the right size in there. I was looking to see if I had the right size. So, and I really do prefer this rounded one, but that's almost too big for that box. But I wanted to use the baby bear. He would still fit in this size here. I don't think that's too bad. We let it hang down. I'm thinking I think we're going to go with this size. Now, this is a very vanilla. No, I want white. This is how my brain thinks when I do these. I look at things and just sort of decide what's going to look good. Okay, so we're going to need a tag. Oh, good. Whack the bears off here. Let's cut this out. Get a little cranky out here. Let's cut us a tag. You guys need to let me know if you just like when I have it all prepared, or when I just sort of think of an idea and have the basics down and just start going for it when I'm working in front of you. I really would like to know. So let me put this back in the sleeve. I am the bigger believer, once you're done with something, put it right back in the sleeve or on your magnet, wherever you're keeping those. So I need a mat. So what do I have left out here? I had the Merry Christmas sitting cattywampus over here. When I cut in half, if you watched the other video, I have the two and I have the baby bear still sitting out. I started putting things away, but I didn't finish. So I want the baby bear on here, I think. They can write who it's to on the back. So I want the front decorated. But I also want it to say Merry Christmas. But even splitting this one, I think is too big. I need a smaller Merry Christmas. Hang on. Bear with me for 1 second. I know where there's a small one. Cottage wreath. Wasn't back in my drawer, so I had to go grab it. It was sitting in the pile of stuff to be put away. This Merry Christmas, I like it. And like I said, I split it the other day, but it does go right back together, just like that. So I'll put that on the case. And we'll take this Merry Christmas, because it's small. Very small. So we put a bear, and we put the Merry Christmas and a couple little snowflakes across it. So I grabbed a bunch of ink out here. I think we'll do the bear in Crumb Cake. I don't want him too dark. Yeah, we'll do him in Crumb Cake. Just a little bear down here in the corner, because I think he's cute. And we'll grab Misty Moonlight for our Merry Christmas. And we'll just put it right here in the center of the tag. Just like that. And then we need some snowflakes, but not many. I want to try something. This is just scrap. This is a piece I use for offsetting on my arm stamping. I want to see what Misty Moonlight looks like. I know what it's stamped full. That one's very, very good. Ooh, I do like that second generation. So, stamp off once. I'm going to put one there. Put one here. Whoop. And one there. I'm going to clean this, because I'm going to use the same one again. I'm not using the big one. I could use, no, I'm going to use the big one. It's bigger. I'll use part of it. We don't have to have the whole thing. I'm going to use Balmy Blue on this one. I know this one will be full strength. And I'm just going to come off the side there and there. And I'm going to put a little bit behind him here. I think that works. That's what he looks like. It's a simple little tag, nothing too frilly or anything. So let's close this up. Okay. Let's see here. Do I want a full bow or a half bow? Trying to decide what kind of bow I want on this. I want to wrap it clear around, or if I want to go under and over. I know. It does take me a little longer when I'm trying to decide what I'm going to do. think we're going to go this way. And I'm going to grab my Snips. And yes, I just did that left-handed. You can cut with your left hand. Takes a little practice, but you can do it. And I'm wrapping this underneath so it holds it a little bit, so it's a little easier for me. If anybody's watched me any length of time, they know I like big bows. I like small ones in their place, but I would like big bows on packages. Sounds a little too big. Yeah, save that one. That's a good piece to use on a card, across a card or something. And then I've got to hook this on here. And I want to just hook it around there. So I'm going to grab my baker's twine, which is around here somewhere. Last linen thread. I'm going to use white baker's twine. Baker's twine comes, just so you know, this is the pack of baker's twine we have now. This is an old, I have like a dozen of these, the older style, so I've been using them first. I don't know how I ended up with so many, but I did. So I'm going to cut that off. Make a little loop. Turning that a little bit so it's not covering the bear totally. I'm going to go from the front to the back. And then through here, like that. And then I'm just going to come under here. And you could either tie a knot or a little bow. I'm going to tie a little bow. Couple reasons. I have to open this back up so I can fill it for Christmas. That's probably the main reason. But you could just tie a little knot. But it's not that noticeable. And I think it just sort of tuck it behind the other bow. So it looks like you just have two bows on there. And there's our little tag. I think that would make a very sweet present for somebody. So that was fast. Not even 30 minutes. I did good. So there's our project. I will sit down and write down everything I use now. And I will put it in the description. Hope you try this. This is the paper is so beautiful. It does most of the work, but you can build these cute little scenes on there. And I just love it. So thank you for joining me. Everybody have a wonderful Friday, and I will see you next week. And again, if you have any ideas about what you'd like to see on this channel for Christmas, drop me a line. I will see if I've got the product to do it, and I will make that for you. And if anybody is interested in joining my team, the Lighthouse Keepers, please drop me an email soon so we can talk about it and we can get you set up before the end of the month. Everybody, until then, have a wonderful weekend, and I will see you next week. Bye-bye.